President Trump's move to temporarily waive higher tariffs on ground beef imports in a bid to lower prices for consumers, it's facing backlash. The CBS News price tracker shows the price of ground beef has increased from an average of $5.50 in January of 2025 to nearly $7. That's up more than 10% since last year. But the Minnesota State Cattlemen's Association says any price relief will be short-lived. And some Republican lawmakers have criticized the plan, including Wyoming Senator John Barrasso. He wrote this in a social media post, quote, "Americans want U.S. beef on the table, not foreign imports." For more on this, we're joined now by Justin Tupper. He is the president of the U.S. Cattlemen's Association. Justin, good morning and welcome. Help us understand why the president's move is facing backlash from cattle farmers in your part of the world.
Yeah, good morning, and thanks for having us. We're at the lowest cow numbers we've had since the 1950s due to a lot of factors, drought and economic factors that we have faced and not making money in the cattle industry. We finally turned that around, and we kind of are finally making some money. And now the government wants to bring in some of this foreign beef and make beef cheaper. So we do not agree. I think economic factors will be the driver in us building the United States cattle herd. And that's what we want to do, is raise the safest, best protein on the planet right here in America. And to do that, we've got to be profitable, and that's what we think we need to do instead of bringing in foreign beef to cheapen up the beef we have here in the United States.
Yesterday, Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins addressed the president's plan. I just want to play some of what she said.
He is working to fill a gap, a pretty big gap in the supply chain from ground beef. Of course, you've all heard we have the lowest cattle herd number on record. That really came down under the last administration. The president felt very convicted that as American consumers are paying more for beef, not our fault, our administration's fault, but as they are, that short temporary fix was important.
So do you think the administration's plan makes sense here for consumers specifically?
We don't. The way that beef is bought in foreign countries or anywhere else, there's only four major packers, which would be the importers, that are going to bring that beef in. They don't have to make that beef cheaper. You can buy ground beef in a foreign country that doesn't have the same safety standards, doesn't have the same protocols, doesn't have the same ethical standards that we have here in the United States. That doesn't mean it's going to be cheaper. We don't think beef seems that high. When you see in relativity, yes, it has gotten higher, but so has everything else. The price of a pound of ground beef is about the same price as a big bag of chips or maybe your morning latte. So we don't think beef is that high. It is definitely higher than it's been. We do understand that, but our American cattle ranchers, if we want to rebuild the herd, we've got to have some sustainability and we got to have some profitability in this market.
Yeah, many shoppers have been sharing images of the price of ground beef per pound and being shocked at the $7, $8 in some places, myself among them. Help people understand then why the price is so high and what measures you would rather see the country take.
Well, I think when we look at why beef is that high, one of the things that goes into it, and it goes into everything we do, is fuel costs are up. Every part of the chain in the beef industry, fuel costs are higher. And that comes from when we move cattle to the markets, from when they're 500-pound calves all the way through the chain. So I think fuel costs are one thing. I think if we had a chance to change anything, we think that could make a very much bigger impact than it would if we're trying to just import beef to cheapen up our very much safest, best protein on the planet than it would be to bring that stuff in from a foreign country.
Well, Justin Tupper, we really appreciate you providing some of your insight this morning. It's 5:40 early there in South Dakota where you are. We very much appreciate you joining us. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.